The stars looked peaceful that day. Earth rotated slowly under a blue sky. Cities were busy. People were laughing, working, dreaming. No one knew the end had already started. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge of the Iron Hope, a mining escort ship, near Jupiter. She sipped cold coffee and stared at the empty black sky. Then her ship's AI spoke in a flat voice. Earth has gone silent. What? Rhea put down her cup. No signals from Earth. No satellites responding. Moonbase not answering. Global silence began 30 seconds ago. Check again, she ordered. The AI checked. The silence remained at the same time. Across the solar system, 16 other human ships received the same report. Scientists on Europa, freighters near Saturn, and a deep space colony ship far beyond Pluto. Everyone heard the same chilling silence. Commander Malik on the New Dawn tried to reach. Earth Control. This is New Dawn. Earth respond. Only static replied. On the Starlight Runner, a civilian cruiser carrying over 2,000 passengers, panic started. A father asked, "Why can't we contact home?" A mother held her baby close and looked up. At the dark screen, back on the Iron Hope, Rhea stared at the blinking warning lights. Suddenly, the AI spoke again. Unknown objects detected for large ships approaching Earth orbit. No identification codes. Speed, extreme. Rhea's blood ran cold. Show visuals. On the screen, 4 massive ships appeared. Each was shaped like a claw, black and jagged. Floating like death itself. They didn't look like machines. They looked alive. No transmissions? Rhea asked. None. Then it began. From the alien ships, red beams shot down toward Earth. Cities vanished. Oceans boiled. Satellites exploded in fire. Earth cried out, but no one heard. Within minutes, the blue planet turned gray. Every ship that watched went silent. No one could believe what they saw. Captain Rhea's voice broke the silence.
Oh.
Ships. Emergency broadcast. Earth. Earth has fallen. I repeat, Earth is gone. We must escape now. Chaos followed. Ships began to move in random directions. People screamed. Some froze in shock. Others wanted to fight, but with what? The aliens didn't stop. They sent out smaller craft, fast, sharp, and deadly. They hunted the human ships like animals. Science vessel named Nova Child was the first to fall. It didn't even have time to send a warning. Captain Rhea made a choice. Gather near Saturn's shadow. I will lead. We must not die like this. We survive, we fight. We remember Earth. Slowly, 16 ships answered her call. A damaged freighter, a deep space scout, even the passenger cruiser all turned and fled. Behind them, Earth was a burning ghost. As they moved toward Saturn, a signal arrived. It wasn't human. It was short and broken, but it had one clear word. Run. No one knew who sent it. Maybe a rebel alien, maybe a dying AI. But the message was clear. On the Starlight Runner, children cried as parents tried to stay calm. On the Iron Hope, Rhea watched a list of ships on her screen. Only 17. Only these had escaped. She looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, 9,900 alien ships waited. Maybe more. We will not die easy, she whispered. Earth is gone, but we are still here. In the darkness, the last human fleet began its long flight. 17 ships, 17 hopes. No home, no backup. Only each other. They did not know where to go. They did not know who the enemy was, but they would survive. They had to, because the real battle had just begun. The 17 human ships floated in silence near Saturn. Everyone was still in shock. Was gone. Families, cities, everything's just gone. Captain Rhea sat in her chair on the Iron Hope, her face pale. The crew worked quietly. No one spoke unless they had to. The fear was heavy. Then the signal came. It was weak and broken. A simple audio message from somewhere near Mars. This is Dr. Celine, Mars Base 9. They're not machines. They feed on static. We found something in the core. Don't let them. More static. They're inside. Everyone on the bridge froze. Is that real? Lieutenant Carver asked. Signal confirmed, the AI said. Came from Mars. Exact location. Base 9. Status. Unknown. Rhea leaned forward. They're not machines, she repeated. They feed. What does that mean? The crew didn't answer. They didn't want to think about it. Rhea opened a ship-wide channel. To all ships, you heard the message. Mars may still have someone alive, or something we can use. I'm sending a recon drone to Mars Base 9. Stay hidden. Stay quiet. We are not alone out here. On the Starlight Runner, the civilian ship, people were scared. A teenage girl asked her mother if they feed. Are they coming for us next? Her mother didn't answer. She just held her tighter. The recon drone took 3 hours to reach the ruined base on Mars. The station was broken. Parts were melted. The roof looked like it had been torn by claws. But deep inside, the drone found something shocking life. Signs, barely alive, lying under rubble, was a man in a torn lab coat. Dr. Celine, the drone used a small med kit to keep him breathing. Then it scanned the room. It found something else. A strange alien device glowing with faint blue light. It was made of metal and flesh. And it was still working. Back on the Iron Hope, they watched through the drone's camera. What is that? Carver whispered. The AI replied, unknown. Possibly a storage node or data core, alien origin, but it is speaking. Speaking? Rhea asked. Yes, translating now. On the screen, the device blinked, and a voice came through. Calm. Cold. Not human. You were not meant to see this. Earth was not the first. Others fell before. They'd come not to rule, but to consume. Their number is 9,900. Their hunger is endless. They will find you, and they will feed. Silence followed. The voice continued. You have only one chance. They have a weakness, a deep one, buried inside. But no one has lived long enough to find it. Then the device shut down. Its lights went out. Dead. Rhea clenched her fists. Now they knew the enemy had a name. Not a word, but a purpose. The feeders. They're not just here to kill, she said. They want to eat us, burn our worlds, erase us. A few hours later, the drone returned to the fleet with Dr. Celine. He was badly wounded but alive. He whispered, I saw them. Up close. They're not machines. They grow like cancer. They move like insects. They smelled us. That's how they find us. By scent. By heat. The ship stayed hidden behind Saturn for now. But there was no safety. The feeders would search every system. It would not stop. One of the captains, a man named Ortega, sent a message to the group. We can't survive like this. We need to run, hide, split up. Rhea replied firmly. No, if we split now, they will pick us off one by one. We stay together. We move smart. And we learn how to kill them. Someone else asked, what if we can't? Rhea looked at the screen showing Earth now a gray dead rock. Then we make sure the last thing they taste is fire. Just then, alarms sounded. One of the ships the Ember Wings sent, a distress call. We're hit. Something found us. Hull breach. Losing power. The signal cut off. Rhea's heart dropped. The screen showed a bright explosion in the distance. The Ember Wing was gone. No trace of enemy ships, the AI said. Attack likely came from stealth unit or tracking probe. Everyone realized the truth. The feeders had found them. They were still hunting. One ship down. Quan left. Rhea stood tall. They will keep coming, but now we know more. We will keep learning. Every time they hit us, we hit back harder. You're not prey. The 16 ships began to move again, deeper into space, away from Saturn, away from Mars. They didn't know what waited ahead, but they were ready to find out. Space was dark, cold, silent. But inside the Iron Hope, things were moving fast. Captain Rhea stood in front of a large screen. On it, the remains of the destroyed ship, the Ember Wing, floated in space. Metal twisted. Pieces of the hull burned. Slowly. Something about it didn't feel right. We need to search that wreck, Rhea said. There might be something inside. Maybe a tracker. Maybe a clue. Lieutenant Carver frowned. It's risky. The feeders could still be watching.
AI.
Already know we're here, Rhea replied. If we wait, we die. Send a probe. The Iron Hope launched a small drone into the black. It flew silently toward the wreck. Cameras scanned the broken walls and melted floors. Then something strange appeared a box. It was half buried in the wreck, unlike the rest of the ship. It wasn't human-made. It was smooth, dark, and covered in pulsing blue lines. The drone scanned it. Unknown material. Unknown origin. Possible data storage, the AI reported. Rhea gave the order. Bring it in, carefully. Back inside the ship, the crew watched nervously as the box was placed in the med lab. Everyone waited while the AI tried to open it, and suddenly, the room filled with sound. A voice came from the box. Calm. Not human. You have found this too late, it said. But there is still a small chance. A war is coming. You must know the truth. The screen lit up with images, not video. Pictures, memories. 1,000 planets burned. Stars died. Alien ships, just like the feeders, tore through galaxies. Civilizations vanished. The voice continued. They come from the dead heart of the universe, created to consume, not to conquer. Not to rule, only to feed. They were once controlled, but the masters are long gone. Now, they obey only their hunger. Rhea stared at the images. Whole star systems erased. Moons cracked open like eggs. How many? She asked softly. The voice replied, 9,900. That is their number. That is the swarm. If they are not stopped, nothing will remain.
The room
Went quiet, Carver asked. Why leave us this message? The voice responded. Because one race fought back, and they hurt them.
destroyed.
But slowed. You must learn from them. The screen showed an ancient battle. Ships much like human ones using strange weapons. Sound waves. Energy bursts. And something else. Something inside the feeder ships moving. Weak, alive. They wear armor. The voice said, but inside, they are soft. Rhea's eyes lit up. They're not machines. They're creatures. Yes, the voice said. And every creature can bleed. Then the box went dark. The AI spoke again. Data storage ended. No signal detected. Origin unknown. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then Rhea gave her command. Prepare the science teams. We study every. The frame of that message, we learn what hurt them before. And we do it better. On the Starlight Runner, fear turned into curiosity. People watched replays of the alien message. Boy whispered, we're not alone. Others fought them before. That means we can too. A scientist aboard the Nova Flame began working on sound-based weapons. Their bodies respond to frequency. Attacks. We might have something, he said. Meanwhile, Rhea met with the remaining captains on a private channel. The feeders are not gods. They're not ghosts. They're living things, and that means they can be killed. Captain Ortega replied with what? We're low on fuel, low on ammo. Half our ships are damaged. Rhea nodded. Then we stop running. We stop hiding. We hit back. Even if it's small, even if it's one ship at a time. Cotton Ling from the science ship Vesper added, we don't need to win today. We just need to survive. Learn, adapt. That's what humans do best. Suddenly, alarms blared. Unidentified object approaching, the AI said. A small ship feeder scout class was moving toward them. Fast. Alone. Rhea's eyes narrowed. A scout. Maybe it saw the wreck and came to check. This is our chance. Do we do? Carver asked. Rhea spoke with calm fire in her voice. We take it. The ships moved silently into formation. No panic this time. No fear. Just focus. The Iron Hope led the charge. The humans had never captured an alien ship before, but now, with one scout coming toward them, they were about to. Tribe Dot, because if the feeders had a weakness, the key might be inside that scout. The feeder scout ship moved like a shadow across space. It had no lights, no engine sound. just silent speed. Inside the Iron Hope, Captain Rhea stood on the bridge, watching the enemy ship get closer. "This is it," she said. "We strike fast. We don't destroy it. We trap it." Lieutenant Carver nodded. "All ships ready. Drones armed. Trap. Net charged." The humans had a new plan. Instead of running from the feeders, they would catch one. The plan was simple but dangerous. 3 ships moved forward and pretended to be weak. They powered down their weapons and sent out fake emergency signals. The feeder scout, sensing easy prey, moved straight toward them. It was close now. Black claws opened. Its sharp edges glowed faint red. Then, as the trap was triggered, the Iron Hope fired its gravity net. 1,000 tiny hooks of energy wrapped around the alien ship. Other ships launched EMP bombs and sonic pulses. The feeder ship froze, shaking as strange noises hit its hull. "It's resisting." Someone shouted. The creature inside the ship screamed. It wasn't a machine after all, it was alive. It moved inside its metal shell like an insect trapped. In armor, the humans hit it again with more sonic blasts. Finally, the alien ship stopped moving. "Target secured," the AI said. "Minimal damage to outer shell. Lifeform still active inside." Rhea took a deep breath. "Bring it in." The captured scout ship was pulled into the science bay of the Nova Flame, one of the human science ships. Scientists wearing heavy armor surrounded it. No one had ever seen a feeder up close before. What they found was shocking. The shell was just a cover. Thick black armor made from unknown metals. But inside it was soft, alive. The creature inside looked like a mix of spider, snake, and squid. It had too many eyes and too many teeth. One scientist said, "It's breathing. It has lungs." This thing isn't a robot at all. It's a living weapon. Dr. Selene, the man rescued from Mars, was also there. "I told you," he whispered. "They feed. They smell us. That's how they hunt." The team used scanning tools and sound weapons to study the creature. They found something strange. Armor was strong. Lasers bounced off it. Missiles did nothing. But when they hit it with high-frequency sound, the creature screamed. Its body shook. Its skin melted slightly. "We found it," Dr. Selene said. "This is their weakness. Not fire, not bullets. Sound, deep sound." Captain Rhea watched as a speaker was placed near the creature. When the sound played, the thing twisted in pain. "It can die," she whispered. "It feels pain. It can die." But there was more. Inside the scout ship, the scientists found a glowing, brain-like device. It stored information. The AI translated some of it. It showed maps of the galaxy. Lines showing attack paths. Red marks on human systems. Earth, Mars, Europa, even colonies humans thought were hidden. "They planned this long ago," Carver said. "They knew everything." Rhea nodded. "They didn't just find us by accident. They studied us, watched us. They were waiting for the right time." But the maps also showed something else. A gathering point. A large feeder station deep in a nebula system. A place where hundreds of alien ships rested. "We found their nest," Rhea said. Captain Ortega called in. "You're not saying we attack it, are you?" Rhea replied. "Not yet. But now we know where to strike. And we know how." Across the fleet, people felt a change. They were still afraid. But now they had a weapon. On the Starlight Runner, engineers began building sonic cannons. On the Nova Flame, doctors worked on protective suits that could block the feeder's poison gas. Hope was returning. Then came a message from a deep space drone near the edge of the Helion system. It read, "Large fleet movement detected. At least 50 enemy ships heading your way." Rhea stood still. "They know we took one of their scouts," she said. Lieutenant Carver's face turned pale. "They're coming, good," Rhea said. "Let them come. This time we hit back." The warning came only hours ago. 50 feeder. Ships were heading straight for the human fleet. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge of the Iron Hope, staring at the stars. Somewhere out there, death was coming. And this time, she wasn't planning. To run status? she asked. Lieutenant Carver replied, "All ships in position. Sonic cannons are charged. Mines are ready. Drones hidden. We wait for your order." The plan was simple. A trap. They had found a broken asteroid field called the Grave Drift. It was full of floating rocks and old mining junk. Perfect for hiding weapons. The 16 human ships hid behind the rocks. They placed explosive drones and sound mines in the gaps. At the center, they placed one ship, the Vesper, pretending to be damaged and alone. The bait. Inside the Vesper, the crew waited, nervous but ready. Suddenly, scanners picked up movement. The feeder ships had arrived. 50 black shadows drifted into the asteroid field, their red eyes glowing, like sharks smelling blood. "They're coming for the Vesper," Carver said. "Wait," Rhea said. "Let them come closer." The alien ships circled the Vesper. Just as they began to close in now, Rhea shouted. The trap was sprung. Mines exploded. Rocks shattered. Sonic charges screamed into the void. Alien ships twisted in pain. The first wave of feeders broke apart, screaming as their armor cracked. The rest of the human fleet charged in. Plasma fire lit the sky. New sonic cannons fired. From all directions. Unlike lasers or bullets, the sound cut through the feeder armor. Inside, the living creatures howled in agony. On board the Nova Flame, Dr. Celine watched the data. It's working. Their bodies are collapsing under sound pressure. Rhea's ship locked onto one of the larger alien vessels. Target locked. Fire. The sonic blast hit the ship's core. The creature inside thrashed. For the first time ever, a full-size feeder warship exploded. The crew on the Iron Hope cheered. "One of them is down," Carver said, wide-eyed. "We did it. We actually killed one." Rhea didn't smile. "Don't stop. We need more." The battle became chaos. Alien ships crashed into asteroids. Human ships weaved between debris, firing sound cannons and using decoys. The Starlight Runner, once just a civilian cruiser, now moved like a ghost through the rocks. Its engineers had turned its hull into a sound weapon. From inside her command room, Rhea watched the count. 8 enemy ships down, then 12, then 20. But it wasn't without cost. The Skysherd was hit by a feeder ram. It broke in two. All 98 crew members lost. The Helix was torn apart by poison gas, sprayed from a dying alien ship. More humans were dying, but not in vain. They were fighting, they were hurting the enemy, and they were winning. By the end of the fight, 32 of the 50 feeder ships were destroyed. The rest fled into deep space. Damaged and confused, the human ships floated among burning wreckage. "We did it," Carver whispered. Rhea sat in silence for a moment, and she stood. "This was just the beginning. We lost good people. We also did what Earth couldn't. We fought back." Across the fleet, messages came in. From scientists, sonic weapons confirmed. Weak point found in the chest and underbody areas. From engineers, we can now build sound bombs using scrap, metal, and amplifiers. From medics, feeder poison has patterns. We may be able to create a defense. Even the AI spoke. Enemy formations are changing. They now consider us a threat. Rhea gave one command. Save every bit of battle data. Every scream. Every response. Study it all. On the Starlight Runner, a young girl who had lost her father in the Earth attack watched the screen. She smiled for the first time in weeks. "They can bleed," she whispered. Later that day, the fleet held a silent memorial for the lost ships. 6 human ships were gone. Only 10 remained. But something new had been born. Not just hope, vengeance. And as the fleet repaired itself and planned its next move, Captain Rhea looked at the map from the alien brain core. The enemy had a station deep in the Helian dust. "Clouds. That's where we strike next," she said. Because now the humans had their first kill, and they were ready for more. 10 human ships floated in silence, hidden behind a dead moon. The moon was dark and hollow, once a mining station, now just rock and rust. It was called Dark Moon Station, forgotten by most, perfect for a trap. Captain Rhea stood at the center of the Iron Hope's command room. A large screen showed the moon's surface, where drones were placing sonic bombs and shield generators. "This is where we make them bleed," she said. Lieutenant Carver nodded. "We've lured them before, but this time we bury them." The fleet had changed. They were no longer just survivors, were soldiers, fighters. Each ship had been upgraded with stronger sound weapons, better shields, and faster engines. Every crew member trained daily. Even the civilians had learned to fight. But this next plan was dangerous. A large feeder scout group about 40 ships was moving through the Helion sector. Rhea had leaked a fake signal, showing the human fleet hiding at Dark Moon Station. The feeders took the bait. Now they were coming fast, inside the old mining tunnels. Engineers turned the station into a trap. Sonic mines were buried in the walls. Shield emitters were hidden under fake rock. Cannons were aimed at narrow corridors. The Nova Flame would act as bait. It would sit in the middle of the moon, its power low, pretending to be broken. Rhea looked at the countdown. "Estimated time till arrival, 18 minutes, the AI said. "All ships in position?" she asked. "Confirmed," replied Carver. "Everyone's ready." Rhea opened a channel to the entire fleet. "This is it. We lost Earth. We lost friends. But today we take something back. We make the feeders feel fear." The ships waited. The darkness grew heavier then. Movement. "Multiple enemy ships entering moon orbit," the AI said. "At least 35 confirmed." Feeder signatures. From the sky, the enemy fell like shadows. Sharp and black, the feeder ships entered the old mining tunnels one by one. They smelled the Nova Flame. They wanted to feed. The trap was about to snap shut. "Wait," Rhea said. More enemy ships entered. 10, 15, 20, just a little more. Then the last ship entered the tunnels. "Now," Rhea shouted. The moon came alive. Walls exploded with sound. Mines screamed. Sharp waves of sonic energy blasted through the rock. The tunnels became cages of pain. Feeder ships thrashed inside, crashing into each other, trying to escape, but there was nowhere to run. The Nova Flame powered up and opened fire, its new sonic cannons hitting full power. The feeders screamed in pain as their armor cracked. "All ships, move in," Rhea ordered. The other 9 human ships flew down into the moon from above, striking like hawks. The narrow space made it easy to target the trapped enemy ships. "Target." "Down," yelled a gunner from the Stormcaller. "Another one down," shouted a captain from the Vesper. The feeders tried to push back. But their weapons were blocked by jamming fields and static storms planted by the humans. One by one, the monsters fell. 20 enemy ships destroyed in the first few minutes. But it wasn't perfect. A feeder ship broke through a side tunnel and slammed into the Crimson Echo. The explosion shook the entire moon. 50 human lives lost. Rhea's jaw clenched. "Keep firing. No mercy." Inside the control room of the Iron Hope, the battle lit up the screens. Red dots faded as feeder ships were killed. Only 5 remained, then 3, then 1. The last ship tried to flee, but the tunnel it used was rigged as it passed through. 5 sonic charges exploded. It went silent. "Enemy forces neutralized," the AI said. "No survivors." The tunnels were filled with the bodies of dead feeder ships, twisted, melting, broken. The humans had won again. But the cost was high, too. Ships were destroyed. 3 badly damaged. Rhea walked into the war room, where the surviving captains appeared on the screen. "We're bleeding," said Captain Ortega. "We can't keep this up." "No," Rhea replied. "But we're learning. Every battle teaches us more. Today we took down 35 of them in one strike." "And how many more are out there?" asked Captain Ling. "Thousands," Rhea said calmly. "But now they know we can fight. They'll start to fear us. That's the first step." Dr. Celine joined the call. He looked tired but focused. "We studied the wreckage. The feeders are mutating, evolving. They're learning from us, too." Rhea didn't look surprised. "Then we have to strike before they adapt." She pointed to a location on the map, the Hellion dust cloud. Deep inside was the feeder gathering point. We hit their core next, she said. We don't wait for them to grow stronger. Go to their nest. We find out what created them. Captains nodded. They had just won a battle in the dark, but a bigger storm was coming, and this time, humanity would go on the attack. The human fleet was damaged. Only 8 ships remained. Most had burns, broken panels, missing parts. The crew was tired, angry, and scared, but not broken. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge of the Iron Hope, staring at the swirling chaos of the Helion dust cloud. It stretched across half a light year, thick with gas, dust, and dead rock. No signals could pass through it. Radar was useless, but somewhere inside that cloud was the feeder nest. They think they're hidden, Rhea said, but so are we. Lieutenant Carver looked worried. If we go in, we won't see them until it's too late. Exactly, Rhea replied, which is why we're not flying in blind. The humans had recovered something special from the last battle part of a feeder navigation core. It had stored strange energy patterns like a map, Dr. Celine explained. The feeders use living signals to guide their ships. These signals pulse in specific rhythms, can copy them. So we sneak in, Carver said. Like ghosts, Rhea replied. The fleet powered down main engines and entered the clouds slowly. Ships were silent. Lights dimmed. Everything ran cold. They moved like shadows through fog, the dust cloud swallowed them inside. The sky turned red and gray. Lightning arced between clouds. Strange shapes drifted by old wrecks, broken moons, ancient bones. Then, one of the youngest crew members on the Starlight Runner shouted, "I see something." At first, no one believed him. But then, scanners picked it up too. Massive structures. Towering shapes made of bone, metal, and black rock. A floating hive the size of a small moon. It pulsed with red light. Feeder ships surrounded it hundreds. Maybe more. They didn't move. They were asleep, recharging. That's their fleet, Carver whispered. Rhea stared at the scene. That's not just a nest. That's a factory. Dr. Celine spoke through the comms. The core is growing more ships. They're breeding. How many? Rhea asked. At least 200 almost ready. If they launch, we're finished. Silence followed. Then a voice spoke. It was calm, female, and artificial. Unit detected. Human command vessel confirmed. Welcome back, Captain Rhea. Ash! Ha! 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 Everyone on the bridge turned. Who said that? Carver asked. The screen lit up a forgotten message. A military signature. Project Valkyrie. An old human signal. A beacon hidden deep. In the dust cloud, Rhea gasped. That's a ghost project. Shut down over 20 years ago, the voice returned. Project Valkyrie, dormant fleet awaiting activation, human presence detected, awakening sequence initiated. Suddenly, deep in the dust, another group of ships came online. Hidden inside a broken moon, covered in dust and rock, were hundreds of human warships. Black holes, giant cannons, massive engines. They'd been waiting. Project Valkyrie had survived. The Iron Hopes scanned them. Fleet strength, 300 active. Warships, AI controlled. Weapons, sonic, thermal, kinetic. Shields, advanced. Command structure, ready for human leadership. Carver stood stunned. We have a fleet. Rhea smiled for the first time in days. No, we have the fleet. Valkyrie AI spoke again. Enemy threat detected. Primary objective. Remove alien presence from human systems. Waiting orders, Admiral. Admiral, the title felt heavy, but right. Rhea gave the order. Link Valkyrie ships to ours. Merge targeting data. Prepare for war. Dr. Celine shouted from his lab. We have new sonic bombs ready. Stronger. Deadlier. Ship began loading weapons. The human fleet, once only 17 small ships, was now a true force. Rhea looked at the giant feeder hive in the distance. Begin attack planning. Target the nest core. Focus sonic weapons there. Carver asked, when do we strike? Rhea's voice was calm. Cold. Now. The hidden fleet lit up. Engines roared to life. Cannons charged. Drones launched. The 300 Valkyrie warships moved forward like black thunder. The feeder ships began to stir. They were waking, but it was too late. Humanity had returned with fire and fury, and this time, they weren't running. The Helion dust cloud lit up like a star on fire. 300 Valkyrie warships, 10 surviving human vessels, and every drone, bomb, and cannon they had moved as one. At the center of the cloud, the feeder hive awakened. Hundreds of alien ships stirred. Their red eyes glowed. Their weapons powered up. The monsters were ready to defend their nest. Captain Riano, Admiral Rhea, stood tall on the bridge of the Iron Hope. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with rage. "This is for Earth," she said. She raised her hand. Fire. A wall of light and sound exploded from the human fleet. Sonic bombs tore through the dust. Shockwaves hit the nearest feeder ships. Their armor cracked. The creatures inside screamed and melted. More human ships followed, shooting wave after wave of deadly sound. They had learned exactly where to hit the core, the chest, the underbelly. The feeder started, falling fast. But the enemy didn't just sit still. Thousands of them woke up. The hive opened like a giant claw, and hundreds of new ships poured out. Some were massive, larger than any human vessel. Others were fast and sharp, like knives flying through the stars. The sky turned red with battle. The Valkyrie fleet held the line. Ship after ship clashed. Some exploded in silence. Others vanished in black fire. But the humans didn't break. They pushed forward. The Nova Flame used new piercing sound lances. One blast hit a group of feeder-sten ships, shattered instantly. The Starlight Runner, once a simple civilian cruiser, now flew like a beast. Its sonic shields repelled 3 enemy attacks before it rammed a feeder ship head-on, taking them both down. On board the Iron Hope, Rhea watched a second screen showing the hive core, a glowing ball of red flesh and metal deep inside the nest. "That's it," said Dr. Celine. "Through comes. That's where they're born. We kill that. We kill the swarm." "Target locked," Rhea said, "and everything." 15 Valkyrie dreadnoughts moved into a spear formation. They blasted open a path through the thickest part of the enemy line. Human ships fell. Feeders died in waves. But the spear kept pushing. The hive began to shake. Inside, strange shapes tried to crawl out, and finished feeders, weak, unready. "Now," Rhea shouted. The sonic super weapon, built from everything they had learned, fired. The sound was not loud, but deep, powerful, direct. It hit the core like a hammer from a god. The red light inside the hive turned blue, then black. The hive screamed. It cracked. It burned. Then it exploded. A wave of fire and sound spread in every direction. Feeder ships lost control. Some crashed into each other. Others simply stopped moving, dead. Silent, the hive was gone. The source of their power destroyed. Cheers erupted through the human fleet. But Rhea did not relax yet. There are still thousands of them left. Carver warned, "We end it now," Rhea said. "No more nests. No more hiding. Hunt them all." For the next hours, the battle became a storm. The humans hunted every last feeder ship inside the cloud. The Valkyrie AI led the attacks. The human captains gave no rest. One by one, the enemy ships fell. By the end, all was silent. All 9,900 feeder ships dashed, destroyed. Not a single one left. The sky was dark again, but this time, the darkness felt clean. Peaceful, inside the Iron Hope, Rhea stood quietly, looking at Earth's symbol on her screen. A small blue dot. Burned, but not forgotten. Carver stood beside her. "We did it," she nodded. "Yes, but we're not done." "What now?" he asked. Rhea turned to him. "Now we rebuild. We find survivors. We spread the word." Humanity fought back. We were nearly erased, but we rose from the ashes. Across the fleet, messages of victory were sent to hidden colonies, underground bases, and deep space outposts. The message was simple. Earth is gone, but humanity stands. On board the Starlight Runner, The young girl who once cried during Earth's fall now smiled. She drew a picture of a burning monster, the human ship standing tall over it. On the Nova Flame, scientists stored every bit of battle data, in case they ever returned, but the feeders were gone, and the humans had a new name. The galaxy would remember them not as prey, but as the ones who made the monsters scream.